Are you an intelligent investor? Now let's answer a vitally important question. What exactly Graham mean by an intelligent investor? Back in the first edition of this book, Graham defines the term and he makes it clear that this kind of intelligence has nothing to do with IQ or SAT scores. It simply means being patient, disciplined, and eager to learn. You must also be able to harness your emotions and think for yourself. This kind of intelligence, explained Graham, is a trait more of the character than of the brain. There is proof that high IQ and higher education are not enough to make an investor intelligent. In 1998, Long-Term Capital Management LP, a hedge fund run by a battalion of mathematicians, computer scientists, and two Nobel Prize winning economists, lost more than $2 billion in a matter of weeks on a huge bet that the bond market would return to normal. But the bond market kept right on becoming more and more abnormal, and LTCM had borrowed so much money that its collapse nearly capsized the global financial system. And back in the spring of 1720, Sir Isaac Newton owned shares in the South Sea Company, the hottest stock in England. Sensing that the market was getting out of hand, the great physicist muttered that he could calculate the motions of the heavenly bodies, but not the madness of the people. Newton dumped his South Sea shares, pocketing a 100% profit totaling £7,000, but just months later swept up in the wild enthusiasm of the market. Newton jumped back in at a much higher price and lost £20,000, or more than $3 million in today's money. For the rest of his life, he forbade anyone to speak the words South Sea in his presence. A chronicle of calamity. Now let's take a moment to look at some of the major financial developments of the past few years. The worst market crash since the Great Depression, with US stocks losing 50.2% of their value or $7.4 trillion between March 2000 and October 2002. Far deeper drops in the share prices of the hottest companies of the 90s, including AOL, Cisco, JDS, Unipace, Lucent, and Qualcomm, plus the utter destruction of hundreds of internet stocks. Accusations of massive financial fraud at some of the largest and most respected corporations in America, including Enron, Tyco, and Xerox. The bankruptcies of such once glistening companies as Conseco Global Crossing, Qualcomm. Allegations that accounting firms cooked the books and even destroyed records to help their clients mislead the investing public. Charges that top executives at leading companies siphon off hundreds of millions of dollars for their own personal gain. Proof that security analysts on Wall Street praised stocks publicly but admitted privately that they were garbage. A stock market that, even after its blood-curdling decline, seems overvalued by historical measures, suggesting to many experts that stocks have further yet to fall. A relentless decline in interest rates that has left investors with no attractive alternative to stocks. An investing environment bristling with the unpredictable menace of global terrorism and war in the Middle East. Much of this damage could have been and was avoided by investors who learned and lived by Graham's principles. As Graham puts it, while enthusiasm may be necessary for great accomplishments elsewhere, on Wall Street it almost invariably leads to disaster by letting themselves get carried away on internet stocks, on big growth stocks, on stocks as a whole. Many people made the same stupid mistakes as Isaac Newton. They let other investors' judgments determine their own. They ignored Graham's warning that the really dreadful losses always occur after the buyer forgot to ask how much, most painfully of all by losing their self-control just when they needed it the most. These people proved Graham's assertion that the investor's chief problem and even his worst enemy is likely to be himself.